The story revolves around Ly Tieu Uyen, a girl whom, for many years, almost everyone believed had perished in a horrific accident. The accident happened suddenly and brutally, leaving behind a chaotic scene, fragmented accounts, and a cold conclusion. Tieu Uyen was no longer alive. That event marked the end of her fate. The name Ly Tieu Uyen gradually faded into oblivion, existing only in vague rumors and the fragmented memories of a few who once knew her. People mentioned Tieu Uyen as a shadowy figure, a sad story from the past, then quickly moved on to their lives. But amidst the thick darkness of those buried memories, there was one person who never forgot. Elsewhere, a mysterious woman lived with an unceasing haunting. The past was like a festering wound, aching and suffocating every night. No matter how much time passed, she could never forget the name Ly Tieu Uyen, nor could she forget what had happened that year. Silently, she sent people to investigate. Every small clue, every piece of information was meticulously collected. She wasn't in a hurry because she understood that one mistake could ruin everything. And then, after years of searching in the shadows, a shocking discovery was revealed. Ly Tieu Uyen was still alive. That news was like a cold knife piercing her memory. All the emotions she thought had died suddenly surged violently. But instead of revealing herself or acting rashly, she chose to quietly observe. She patiently waited for the right opportunity, because more than anyone else, she understood that Tieu Uyen was not just a human being. Uyen is the daughter of Mr. Khan, a man entangled in dark secrets, with an old hatred that seemed buried by time, but actually still smolders in the shadows. Ly Tieu Uyen's survival is like a small spark. A single gust of wind could reignite it all. What was once hidden, once buried deep, is now in danger of surfacing. Currently, Uyen is striving every day to rebuild a peaceful life for herself. A life without glamour, without grand dreams, simply a quiet existence. That peace is fragile and full of hardship. Uyen lives in poverty, carefully calculating every penny. Some days, she has to skip meals, only quickly drinking a glass of water to stave off hunger. Not because she doesn't want to live better, but because she doesn't want to be a burden to anyone. Every morning, Uyen wakes up while it's still dimly lit. Her small, simple room contains nothing of value except a few old belongings. Her life flows slowly, simply to the point of hardship. But deep down, Uyen still clings to a fragile hope that tomorrow might be a little better than today. Amidst those difficult times, the An appeared as a silent support. He wasn't loud or boastful. He didn't make extravagant promises. The An's concern was always small and discreet, yet enough to make Uyen feel warm. When Uyen was tired, he quietly bought her some food. When she was sad, he sat beside her, listening to her rambling thoughts. The An didn't try to change Uyen's life. He was simply there, letting her know she wasn't alone. Beyond just emotional support, the An also joined Uyen in harvesting fruit to earn a living. Working under the scorching sun, their shirts soaked with sweat, they worked together, endured fatigue together, and shared small stories. The moments of picking rambutan in the garden held a strangely simple beauty. Amidst the lush branches, the rustling leaves, the slow footsteps, and the silent, caring glances, Uyen felt a very real connection. There, There was no past, no hatred, only two people trying to live each day. It was in those simple moments that a fragile yet genuine peace gradually formed between Uyen and the An. However, just when life seemed to be settling down, a serious incident unexpectedly occurred. Mr. Tran Nan Chin was detained by the police for questioning regarding long-standing debts from many years ago. This news spread quickly, creating a heavy and unsettling atmosphere. Shortly after, police officers arrived at Mr. Chin's house to conduct a search. The moment the door opened, the atmosphere became tense. Every room was thoroughly searched, every drawer, every stack of old papers was examined. Seemingly worthless documents suddenly became crucial clues. Overlapping loans, shady transactions, familiar names from the past gradually came to light. The investigation quickly went beyond just money. Mr. Chin's old relationships were unearthed. People who had appeared and disappeared, unwritten agreements, all connected to form a tangled web of suspicion. And from that, a terrifying suspicion gradually formed. Behind Mr. Tran Nan Chin's case, there might be hidden forces that haven't disappeared yet. Even more worrying, those forces are likely secretly watching Uyen. Her fragile peace is in danger of being shattered at any moment. This incident is not just an investigation, but a harbinger of a silent undercurrent approaching. Uyen continued to make a living by selling rambutan at the market. The freshly picked, still fresh fruits were neatly displayed. Thanks to the An's help and a better seating spot, the goods sold very quickly, almost all gone before they even cooled. The work was hard, but it gave Uyen a glimmer of hope. At least, tonight, she could be assured of her dinner. Amidst the bustling market scene, a mysterious woman silently appeared. She stood at a distance, her eyes never leaving Uyen. After observing for a while, she deliberately approached, pretending to be a customer. When they stood face to face, with just one glance, she recognized Uyen immediately. The old scar was still there. Her heart suddenly tightened. All her doubts vanished completely. Although Uyen didn't realize it, the woman was certain that the girl before her was the same one from years ago. She said nothing more, silently retreated, and continued to watch from a distance. Deep down, regret welled up. She blamed herself for not dealing with Uyen properly back then, allowing things to become more dangerous than ever today. Therefore, she became even more cautious, waiting, calculating, because even a small mistake could lead to irreversible consequences. That day, after the market closed, Uyen sat silently beside the An. Her voice was low, filled with anxieties she couldn't name. Uyen confessed that a nagging feeling of unease always lingered in her heart. The image of a familiar woman kept haunting her mind. She'd clearly met her before, but the more she tried to remember, the more vague it became. Then she suddenly recalled a detail that sent a chill down her spine. Before the woman approached to buy rambutan, she had stood observing from a distance, her eyes never leaving Uyen. Therein listened silently, his gaze gradually becoming serious. He tried to reassure Uyen, but he couldn't help but feel worried himself. Because he understood that premonitions don't just appear out of nowhere. Somewhere, danger from the past was silently approaching. Pieces that seemed to have been dormant were beginning to stir, and Uyen's current peace, like the calm surface of water before a storm, was just waiting for the moment to shatter.